We are live here in San Francisco at the Coinbase OnChain Summit with the Crisis King team. I mean, look at this. It looks so cool. These people are some of the greatest people I've ever met. This project is one of the most influential and impactful projects I think it's going to be in the entire world. And we're going to be live for hours. So get ready, because this is going to be some of the best content you might ever hear about Crisis King. Who knows? You might even learn something. So what is it that you exactly do with the Crisis King team, Mike?
So my name is Mike J. I go by XBT Papa. I am an official team member of Crisis King. And what I do, my role has evolved. So I got involved with the project early on. Initially, I was brought on to create awareness and help drive volume and new eyes to the project via some of my private Telegram and WhatsApp whale chats. And then what happened was, because of mine and Brandon's working relationship in the past, I'm capable of doing a whole lot more, and there were some holes to fill. So I jumped in and made myself available to help out with whatever they could possibly have needed. So my role has today evolved into the social media manager, so to say, which is a role that I've never played before, except for my own personal uses. So I help create 9 social channels. I help create the community on Telegram, Discord.
There's a massive community with Crisis King.
And so aside from posting, internal engagement, external engagement, and growth strategies, I've just recently been promoted to managing and overseeing and onboarding the KOLs and on both the coin side, and also helping oversee and manage and keep accountable Christian influencers as well.
Yeah.
So that is my role. And then on the internal side, I also have built 20 brick and mortar businesses out in the real world. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So as far as helping them restructure and organize and onboard new internal team management tools and making our communication channels more effective, I'm a strategist in that realm as well. So really, whatever I can do, I feel like at this point I am divinely inspired.
Yeah.
If that answers your
question.
In
what ways, in relation to the things that you're working on with Crisis King, do you think makes them just uniquely different?
Absolutely, the team. The team are some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. I originally was onboarded into cryptocurrency years ago through a project called Saint Token, which was a charity-based token, and I had taken 2 years off. I had just come out of retirement, and Brandon hit me up about this project, and I was on my own spiritual journey, and then I was sold on the idea of the project, but sometimes religious meta can be, controversial. But he invited me to the Bitcoin conference, and I got to spend the weekend in a hotel room with Brandon, and there was just absolutely no mistake that this man was on fire with what I come to find out was the Holy Spirit. And then I get to meet the team members, and these guys are really about that life. We pray in and out of every team meeting. We actually have a dedicated prayer meeting on Fridays. They've introduced me to so many amazing people. Everybody is, operates by a strict code of ethics and are friendly. And honestly, this project has absolutely changed my life.
Yeah, these people are some of the most passionate Jesus followers I've ever met in my life. I feel so inspired every single time that I get to be around all of you guys. It is truly amazing.
One more point to that. So the team, you asked me what was the team, you can see in the way that they conduct themselves and they carry out their tasks, like, everything comes back to Jesus and God and this mission.
It's so pure.
And their tasks and their ambition, it's so clear that everything is divinely inspired. From the way that they communicate with each other, the ideas that they come up with, and the way that they carry out their responsibilities. Yeah, they just done such an amazing job at picking rocks.
That's right. Well, we're here. We are just starting the day, and so much more amazingness is about to come. The whole team of Crisis King are doing just an amazing thing. Every time I'm around you guys, it's always about how you can help everybody else. Yeah. That's one of the biggest things I've realized. So I think we're about to take a little break, and we'll be right back with some fire interviews for you guys to enjoy.
Awesome.
Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what my soul is telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, Glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
Like, we pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ.
We're here again. Thank you for the little break. This is Weston. He's done some of the most amazing things I've seen with Christ is King.
Come on.
I've gotten to spend not nearly enough time with you, and I really just want to get to know what you really do here at Christ is King more.
Yes. So we talk a lot about bringing the church on chain.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? For me, I'm more on the church side than on the chain side. So I'm new to the chain, but I was born in the church. So my love for the local church is really, really, really big. I've got a capacity for the local church like no one I've really ever seen. A lot of people have been hurt by church if they've been in it for a long time. And so I've seen church hurt. I've seen the cycles, all denominations. I understand the segments of all that stuff. Minored in biblical studies at Arizona Christian University, formerly Southwestern Bible. And my heart, literally, I was baby Jesus in the Christmas play at my local church. So I grew up in the local church. I backslid and left the local church. I came back as a prodigal son to the local church. I found my wife in the local church. My kids were born in the local church. And the church has changed my life because it's what God is doing on the earth until Christ returns for the second time. So I am the piece to the puzzle of Christ is King that is inviting the church to come on chain because I'm a lover of the church.
Yeah, I've gotten to hear some of the amazing stories about your life. You are one of the few people that really inspires me.
Man.
And it feels like everyone inside of this Christ is King team is so uniquely different and needed. Every one of you guys is needed. There's not one of you that is, maybe we didn't need that guy, because everyone works as this team, and you guys just constantly enter a state of flow. You constantly are helping others and thinking, okay, well, what can we do for other people? How can we do this? How can we do that? Just like yesterday, what you guys were doing.
Yeah, I think serving is obviously the greatest way to be able to lead. If you want to lead by example, it's not by this iron fist or trying to make people do things. And Jesus was the greatest representation of servant leadership. And when God came to earth to dwell among us, he put on a flesh suit. I always look at it like, if anybody could have been like, hey, when you talk to my dad, this is how you talk to him, or this is how we do things in heaven. That wasn't Jesus. He never had a furrowed brow. Obviously he flipped tables when there was money changing going on. And some people might look at this like, hey, you're trying to make money off of Jesus. That's wrong. That's not what this is about. When we talk about a Trojan horse of kind of coming into a space to be accepted, and then when we're able to, come out into the open and say, this is what we really got going on. This meme coin is more than just a coin. It's a movement, but it has to do with something deeper than that. And so to your point, I think the best thing for us here in San Francisco is to serve the on-chain community at the on-chain summit. And that's what we've been doing, is being the hands and feet of Jesus. And it's not like this, like, oh, these religious people came in here. Like, no, we're here to spread the love of Christ, and we're doing it in a way where we're serving the people here.
To make a comparison to the money changers, what makes you guys different?
That's a great question. I think when you talk about the context is king when you talk about the Bible. And so
CIK.
Jesus was in his Father's house. He said, my Father's house should be a house of prayer, not a den of thieves. And so for us, we do take prayer extremely seriously as our team. Like
every
this
single
morning,
we're always enjoying a time of prayer. It makes me so excited because I always get to be snapped back into place and get to spend that time around people who are so passionate about the Lord.
And so what I would say about this is, obviously we are not a physical location as far as like a church is concerned with like four walls. The church is obviously the body of Christ. And so I think sometimes you can kind of see, if I were to cut my pinky off and it was just chilling on the ground and it was just crawling by itself, like that's weird and awkward, like something out of a horror movie. Like it feels like, what is going on? But so that's really what happens. Yeah, that's what happens with the body of Christ when you detach yourself from the body. And so our team is very different because we're still connected to the local church. So we all go to different churches and we come together to do something like this. So what makes us different is we're not proselytizing this inside of the four walls of the church, trying to make this thing move forward. And really behind the scenes, what we're trying to do is we are trying to bless people in the third world by Web3. Web3 has the ability to bless the third world. And it allows us here in the United States to actually fund the unbanked.
Yeah.
Because most people have a cell phone or a device, even if they don't have a bank account. And so we want to be able to do that. So what your question was is, how are we different? Number one, we're not in as far as like not pushing this inside the four walls and talking about it or putting up this booth in a church. We're here at the OnChain Summit right now with this booth. This is not like at a church, right? So that's number one. Number two is the whole point of this is not to put money in our pockets or to grift. We're not here to grift. We're here to gift. And so we want to be able to give to people in the third world. And the only way we can do that is by Web3 and being able to truly set them up for success, get them wallets, and get them coins. Imagine being able to directly know that your money that you have, if you wanted to bless a family in a third world country, you didn't have to go through a third party to get that done, or missionaries or that. You could literally send money right to them.
Yeah. That's amazing. Being able to send money without having that third party has been a problem that people have been trying to solve for decades.
Yeah, what?
And
only 2%.
Here we go.
I think 2% of the money when it all gets dwindled down. I don't know if you've ever seen those pop-ups. We're in this like tip culture right now, and whenever you slide your card or dip your chip or however you want to talk it, tap, dip or slide. When you do that, there's like questions that prompt up, and normally it has to do with tipping, and then it has to do with rounding up to the nearest dollar to give to a charity of your choice. But only 2% of the money that is actually put into a system like that gets to the hand or gets to a child, or so if they do something for the Red Cross or whatnot. Only 2% of the dollars, after everyone's been paid all the salaries, all the different things for marketing and all these different costs, only 2% of that is actually going. So imagine being able to give 100%. We're not talking about 2% milk. We're talking about whole milk. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing's going to that family, and we want to be able to bless the trenches, and that's what CIK is all about. You'll see more about that, but the meme coin is the first point of everything that we're trying to do.
Yeah. Wow. And I've been so impressed by the community engagement. You know, I've really, really loved you guys for a while now, especially after the few events that I've gotten to go with you guys from the Philippines to New York.
Yeah. I was
all
not with
over
you
the
in the
world.
Philippines. I'll be there for
But
the next one, but in New York we were together.
it was amazing just getting to spend time around you guys. And that itself made me believe in this amazing idea. But then when I got to see the content you guys actually create, which somehow was only like yesterday, I was just blown away because I didn't know that it could be this good. It was so, so entertaining. I sat there speechless, just like, whoa, that was really, really
He's
entertaining.
referencing a video that was just dropped. So today is the 22nd of August. You can go on to our X, and you can go on to our LinkedIn. You can go on to our Facebook and on our Instagram and see the most recent post. But yeah, we've got some of the best people in the world that believe in this movement, that are coming together to build something for God. And Colossians 3:23 says, whatever you do it with all your heart, soul, and strength, and all your mind, everything that you are, as though you're doing it unto the Lord and not for man. So when you work and you put your hands to something, you want it to be able to be honoring and glorifying God. And that's what we're obtaining. Like the church should be, and was for a long time, the epitome of excellence.
Yeah.
And that has kind of slid back a little bit. But now there's this resurgence where you're seeing, music charts with Forrest Frank and all these different artists and influencers that are doing it for the glory of God. Even athletes, like we're seeing Jesus in sport. We're seeing Jesus in art again. We're seeing Jesus in music industry. We're seeing Jesus in the movies. We're seeing all of this movement come about, but I haven't seen him in the Web3 or cryptocurrency space. And that's so exciting to say, because we are bringing a little Jesus to a space that I believe needs him the most.
Yeah. I mean, many Christians or just people in general have been like, man, why did pastors get paid? Like, this seems kind of funky, kind of weird. Like, honestly, back when Christianity had just started, people just made churches. You just had to have your own job and make things happen. And it's sometimes kind of weird that people get paid. But that's why it's so unique and so amazing and so fitting that it's finally happening, that something like this is happening. That the athletes, that the musicians, that the people are not trying to be paid for their influence. They're not trying to ask for something in return to saying, yeah, I'm Christian. Yeah, this makes my life so much better. Because that's what this is actually supposed to be.
Yeah, we want to be excellent in all things, and all things to the glory of the Lord. And it's really about honoring God with our words and actions. And one thing that I've noticed with our team is that we are bringing the best talent because we want to be the best in the world. And this space has been awesome to be a part of. And to your point, I think it's about time that the church, isn't necessarily taking advantage of the hidden ledger. And so bringing the church on chain means that a church going on chain, everything would be visible for the congregation to view and say, hey, this is the money that's actually going to the pastor. This is what went to missions. This is how it works. And they do it to a certain degree, but you can kind of fudge some numbers. And with the blockchain, we're realizing now that when you put the church on chain, that means that everything's visible and everything is able to be, verified. And I'm really excited about the future of the local church, because the gates of hell won't prevail against it. And when Jesus returns, we want him to return to a spotless bride. And we think that having Jesus in this space is going to make a big difference, because that's what he does. And he resurrects things. Even like in NYC, NFT NYC, I see Jesus coming into that space and being able to resurrect something that looks like it was on life support. So I'm excited about seeing what God's going to do in the crypto space, in Web3, in NFTs, and we got to have Jesus in all spaces.
Man, I'm so excited. Getting to know now what the future is going to hold, because it's so inevitable. is just so exciting.
Yep, and we know
And
who
if
holds
you're
the
getting
future.
to watch this right now, that means you also are getting to experience the future. This is kind of like watching the Facebook live stream 2, 4, 5 months before it happened, before the big boom. Imagine that. That's where you are right now. So get ready.
Christ is king.
Christ is king. Thank you for your attention.
Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what I like. My soul is telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really like comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
That's so glorious.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
Like, we pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really like came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ.
Well, here we are, my friend.
We're
Here at OnChain Summit here in San Francisco. Welcome to my city.
Beautiful San Francisco, by the way.
Beautiful San Francisco. My family's lived here for 10 generations.
Wow.
250 years.
250 years?
Yeah. My ancestor founded the Presidio in
Wow.
San Francisco, right by the Golden Gate Bridge. So anytime somebody comes to a conference here, I'm always like, hey, welcome to my home.
So you know everything and anything about San Francisco.
Well, I mean, I know a lot of cool things.
Yeah, we definitely we want to explore more of the city today.
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow, Golden Gate Bridge. We want to check out the park. I heard it's like
It's special.
the Central Park of San
Yeah,
Francisco.
it's a smaller version of Central Park, but it's
Yeah.
really, really beautiful.
Yeah, we're excited. Excited to be here. Atmosphere's been great.
Yeah.
Everybody's energy's been magnetic. So
Yes.
we're super excited. It's a beautiful city.
So for those that are just meeting you for the first time in our community, tell us a bit about who you are and your background.
So a little bit of myself on X. I'm Cryptoology Keto. I've been in crypto since, I would say, we started in 2017. Me and my buddies, Drew, got into crypto early on, and we got in at the top of the market, rode the market all the way up, round tripped our bags, and
Sure.
lost all our money.
It's easy to do.
Yeah, absolutely, super easy to do in crypto. But we stuck to it and just kind of got to the grind of learning more about OnChain, learning more about different projects, the communities behind certain projects. I mean, when I first got into crypto, the biggest things that we looked for when we invested in a project was community.
Right.
What was the community like? How is the energy within that community? Are people uplifting within that community? So we try to stick to certain communities within crypto. ETH has been a great community. OnChain, Base has been great. We've been working with some good projects on there, but ultimately kind of got seasoned in the space by just being there over time, and started doing more stuff in the content world of crypto.
Yeah.
And just building a community around ourselves as our personalities as well. So a little bit about my story. That's in the crypto world, but we've done things outside of crypto as well.
Right.
So.
And what brought you into crypto? When did you see the crypto light?
So my buddy John got me and Drew in there in 2017, and he was talking about this like new opportunity where, you know, Ethereum and Bitcoin, and, you know, just to get the money into the market was like rocket science to us at first, and it was super confusing. But we got into it. We saw the vision. We saw where things were going.
Right.
You know, we have institutions now that are jumping into crypto, and, you know, you see institutional money coming in. For us, when we first started, that was a dream.
Of
like,
course.
that was like the biggest thing. We didn't see the vision of that happening so quickly.
Yeah.
And now it's here. Things are just moving so rapidly in the crypto space. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to even be way bigger, especially with the generation that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Everything's on the phone. Everything's digital. So I think the future is bright. And if you're entering the crypto space now, you're going to do very well if you stick the course and just focus on the right communities, the right projects. I think you'll do very well.
So you're online, you have a bit of influence, maybe a lot of influence.
Decent amount, I would say not.
And when you think about your audience, is it like one, you know, kind of archetype of a person that you're educating, entertaining, guiding, giving in, you know, different advice to, and giving them, you know, alpha, as they say, in this environment? Is it 101? You're kind of helping people transition and come on. Like, give me a little bit of an idea about what is it that people turn to you for?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So my audience and my community is, I would categorize it into 3 different aspects, all under crypto as well. So the self-development side, where you're trying to self-improve yourself, you're on a path of righteousness in terms of whether it be fitness, whether it be financial freedom, or whether it be just a mindset shift from where you're currently at. If you're going through a tough time, I try to inspire as much as I can. I've been through ups and downs in my life, and, you know, I wish somebody would have gave me that guidance when I was younger. So anytime I meet somebody, I try to influence them in the right direction when it comes to self-development, mindset shift, and improvement. So that's one sector of my audience.
Yeah.
But they're all under the crypto world. The second one is going to be the alpha. They're coming here to make money. They need to know what the hottest new project is, what's hot in the market, what's the hottest sector. Is it RWAs, whether it's memes, AI, DeFi? I kind of cover a lot of that. I've been doing well when it comes to early alpha, thank God. So I get a lot of people that kind of come to me and see what's new, what's hot on the market. And then thirdly, I would say a combination of all aspects of news in the market, in financial markets. I tend to try to give some information on what's latest, where we're going to be in the next, 2 to 3 months. So I do a little bit of a news recap and what's hot and what's not as well.
So if you broke down the 3, like, one is just generally, how do you make great decisions with your life, financially, health-wise, self-improvement, just that category. You're working on your finances, you're working on your physique, you're working on your mental health, and you're just kind of sharing that. So people are kind of turning to you for that. 2, like, hey, what's the alpha? Like, what insider knowledge do you know? Give me financial advice, even though you're not allowed to. That whole thing. And the third is like just a modern day journalist, right? You're saying, hey, here's what's happening. You're a modern day futurist, right? You're a visionary. Hey, here's where we are going.
Exactly.
So when I think about someone in your position, I think about a few different ways that you could influence people. So, like, the broadest way is a post on X or your Facebook group or your Discord, whatever it may be. Then, like, if you go deeper, it's like a DM, right? Somebody gets a DM from you. They know you. They trust you. It's not public knowledge. It's just a private thing.
Yeah.
It's
I'll never DM you, by the way, directly. Just an FYI.
Yeah. Let's just say somebody that knows you.
Yeah,
well.
if somebody knows me, because there's a lot of
I understand that.
Yeah.
And then, like, the third layer is like you FaceTime somebody. Hey, Keto, what's up?
Yeah.
Dude, I got to tell you something. I need to look you face to face. I need to tell you about this thing.
Yeah.
If 99% of your content that you're pumping out to the world is public posts, and 1% is that FaceTiming somebody, texting somebody, DMing a friend. What is required in your mind for you to feel so confident in something that you would personally reach out to somebody? Like, how does something go beyond just like, hey, I'm just telling the world about it now? I mean, I am making sure that this person I care about or I'm working with, they know what's going on.
That's a very, very good question, man. You have a lot of great questions, by the way. I would say conviction. Conviction is the biggest thing. Conviction. You're talking about in the world of crypto, right?
Yeah.
I would say conviction in a project for me, I have to check a few boxes. I got to see the proof of concept. The proof of concept has to. I got to see that this will be successful in real world. That there's a need for it.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is a big community around it.
Right.
Community is. I would put community as one of the top 3 things that I look for when it comes to a project or just anything in general in crypto and just in life, honestly.
Yeah.
Things that have a solid community behind it, that's longevity in that game. Communities build longevity. So longevity in the community is a big thing. So, and then the third, what I look for that would really get me off my butt and just give somebody a call is where something can land in the future where it hasn't got off the ground running yet because it's so new. If I see something exploding in the next, just like discovering crypto back in 2017, it was something where I was telling family members at Thanksgiving, we were trying to tell people where everybody was like, hey, this crypto thing is a scam, but we still kept, promoting it. Hey, you guys should get in while it's early. If some of my friends listened to me when I was telling them to buy Bitcoin at like $5 grand, or even ETH at like $300, they'll be at a completely different place right now currently. But we were able to see that vision earlier on where they couldn't. So that would be my third thing that would make me get off my butt and like really just get on a FaceTime call with somebody and let them know, am I early? Am I in the early stages of something where it's going to explode later on in the future? So those are the 3 things that I would say that I look for.
And how do you deal with the volatility? If you compare cryptocurrency with a fiat currency, there's some similarities and some radical differences. So similarities.
Definitely.
Let's just take the American dollar and let's take ETH. Okay. Both are based on faith. They're both faith-based store of value and exchange of value. So if 100% of the people that use US dollars all just lost faith in the US dollar tomorrow, and everyone traded the US dollar for yen, pounds, and euros, the US dollar crashes.
Will collapse.
But because so many people hold it, so many individuals, so many institutions, and it's backed by the US government, which really means backed by the US military, that has never happened up to this point. Even though we printed 50% surplus supply during the pandemic.
Last year.
So that's still faith-based currency, not based on gold. It's based on people believing it holds value and it's a good medium of exchange. Ethereum. When I first heard about Ethereum, it was under 10 cents. And, and today it's 4,000. Now,
10 cents, under 10 cents is when man, good for you.
So when you think about Ethereum's journey, today, you can still have Ethereum drop from 4,000 to 1,000. You can still have it pop from 4,000 to 10,000. Like you can have some pretty radical ups and downs, even though it's an established cryptocurrency. It's still faith-based. It's still based on the faith of the Ethereum network, the Ethereum leadership, the Base 2 networks like Base, like Polygon, like Immutable, and all of the industries built around it, right? The video game industry, the Web3 video game industry, the DeFi industry around NFTs, crypto collectibles, digital assets. Now, if people decided that ETH is not valuable to them anymore, and everyone changed their ETH for Solana or for Bitcoin or for CIK, then ETH could plummet.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that's very challenging in this industry as a person of influence is that you're not just telling people like, hey, you should hold US dollars as a store of value instead of yen. You're basically telling people like, hey, there's this new thing, CIK. or
Yeah.
hey, I'm still all about Bitcoin, BTC, baby, and whatever it is. But it's not uncommon for something to skyrocket 10x, even 100x, and then you're a hero until the moment where it drops down 90 or 99%. So it does put anyone of influence in a very strange position, because on one hand, you don't know what's going to happen. On the other hand, you're not always free to say whatever you want because of your non-contractual, just kind of integrous handshake type of commitments. Like, I'm only going to say so many things because I'm part of this team, I believe, or I'm only going to say so many. I'm not going to say anything negative or anything positive because I want to be a financial advisor. There's all of these pressures.
Thin line that you got to,
And things are so volatile. So walk me through your thought process today, August 22nd, 2025. You get involved with Crisis King, right? You get involved with the Base Network. All of a sudden, you're jumping into one of the Base NFT communities. All of a sudden, you're pumped on this new Solana thing, and now you're all about the Phantom Wallet, and you're excited about this, new approach to digital collectibles, whatever it is. You get pumped. You tell people, this is why I'm excited about it. Not financial advice.
Never financial advice.
So, but how do you manage that? How do you personally manage that pressure?
Yeah, that ultimately that comes with years of being in the financial world, really, and emotional intelligence. You have to manage your emotion. You have to go into at the end of the day, we're sovereign individuals, right? We make our own decisions. We're accountable for what we do. So as long as you understand that when you go into something, there's a high possibility that you can lose your shirt on it. But at the same token, no pun intended, you can absolutely be filthy rich off of that same investment. You go in there with the right state of mind where there's a balance, because it's either going to be here or there, but you never should invest more than you're willing to lose, pretty much. But for me, it's just managing my emotions. If the entire market is down, I'm not going to look down on one asset class like, hey, this is doing absolutely like terrible. Let me dump this bag. Or you want to focus from a holistic perspective, from a macro perspective. Now, there's situations where things tend to die out, and you need to be able to make that decision. Hey, has this asset been performing well for me? Or as a whole, should I switch into something else? For example, maybe, when NFTs blasted up, and now NFTs are kind of, they're dwindling down, and they've been dwindling down for a while, but I think I can see them definitely coming back. You have to really analyze. For me personally, and I was telling my buddy Drew this, is you have to analyze your life as a business. Where are you right now in your current state? Where do you want to be 6 months from now? Where do you see yourself in a year or two from now? Finance is the same way. Assets are the same way. Is this asset, has it been underperforming for, X amount of months, X amount of years? Is it time to cut my loss with this? Is it time for me to scale out of this? So I tend to look at my assets and my investments. Where's the vision going as a sector collectively, not just that one specific one? Because again, if the market is doing bad collectively as a whole, I'm not going to single that one thing out. If the market is doing very well and that single asset is doing bad, I think it's time for me to reevaluate that and cut my losses. So to answer your question, it's definitely, you have to manage your emotions. You have to be critical when you look at it. And when you look at your decision, you have to analyze, not overanalyze, but you have to analyze, okay, where's this asset at right now? Has other assets in that class done well? Is it the only one that's not doing well? So I kind of take a look at from a holistic point of view.
So let's transition to Crisis King. We got the banners behind us.
Yeah,
we're here together with our friends for the community. Largest community outside of just general humanity, right? 8 billion humans in the world. But largest community in the world are those that have faith, right? There's more people in the world with faith than that don't have faith.
Yeah.
They might be Buddhist, Muslim, Hindu. They might follow Jesus. They're either Catholic, Christian, mystic, whatever. Within the faith community, more people are connected to Jesus and what he talked about as a kingdom, a community that you belong to, than any other, right? 2.5 billion or so people would say that they're connected to that.
And growing.
And it's never been tokenized before, meaning there's never been any sort of medium by which people can track, their involvement, their ancestors' involvement. So, for instance, with you and I, there's a strong likelihood in the last 2,000 years that we have ancestors that were radically involved in something having to do with, evangelizing this faith paradigm, living it out, maybe building, a building that people gathered in.
Yeah.
It's very likely, right, that we have ancestors.
Very likely.
We don't know who they are. It was never tokenized. There's never any tracking. And in fact, when our ancestors gave to a faith leader or faith congregation or community, there was no tracking of how that money was used, if it housed people, fed people, what happened. And now for the first time ever, what we may call the church can have more of a decentralized approach, right? Can philanthropy be tracked? Can we make sure that people that are generous and want to give can see where it's going? Can community be safe by having transparency, authenticity, immutability? And so that's part of the team's approach with this, right? Is to decentralize the church or provide a safe place for people that are affiliated with Jesus emotionally or spiritually, or at least are interested in it. And part of the whole thought is when you find your community, you probably find your purpose in your community, right? Your destiny is hidden in your people. So with that in mind, give me a little bit of an idea of what stands out to you about this approach of bringing a faith community to the blockchain, bringing Christ on chain, as they say. I just would love to hear your insights.
I think it is a genius idea because the beauty about on chain is everything is transparent. Everything, any transaction can be tracked. Everything is as transparent as it gets. That is the absolute beauty of on chain. And, when it comes to philanthropy and when it comes to donations and stuff, you make the donation in good faith, but sometimes, certain organizations, you don't know where that donation is going, or there's not a way to track it, or where sometimes when you give a donation, there's a ripple effect to that donation. Growth is happening. People are utilizing that donation and things are growing within that community. Whether you're building a school, where does that person go after they graduate? Like a donation can go a long way, but being able to really see that transaction on chain and the transparency behind it and where you can actually track and your funds are actually going to something positive is a remarkable, just the idea of it. I don't think anybody has done it. I think this is one of the newest metas that it is untapped, but just based off of community and the transparency of it, I think it's going to be the future. And I think what CIK is doing is pioneering that today, because there's no other community that is doing it. And I commend the team for doing something so positive, that is transparent. You can see it on chain, and there's a ripple effect to that for doing some positive things in the community, and it encourages other people. Hopefully this is the spark for other people to get on and do the right thing, not just within their own community, but with other communities as well.
So my assumption is that there will be probably half a dozen, maybe more than a dozen, what I would call like kingdom currencies.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, I wasn't there when he was around, so I don't really know that. But apparently, he didn't tell a lot of people how to live the way that faith communities are kind of known, right? A lot of faith communities are like, don't speak like that, don't wear that, don't listen to that, don't watch that, don't hang out with those people, definitely hang out with these people, do this, do that. So somehow that's how it evolved, was kind of rule oriented. But a lot of what he did was just say, follow me, watch me, live like I live.
Yeah.
So when you think about the potential of there being half a dozen or more kingdom currencies, what I mean by that is that, of course, people that are affiliated with this faith, they'll probably hold Bitcoin and fiat currency. They'll probably hold ETH and, USDC, but they also will likely have a currency like a CIK that they say, hey, I really affiliate with this. Like, I have faith in this currency and this community because of the following reasons. Part of the list of reasons is going to be the leadership, right? Part of it is going to be the ethos of the leadership. So a lot of currencies that are launched, everyone is undoxed. Nobody knows who they are. There's no transparency. There's no vulnerability. Where the difference here is like every single person on the team is known. They're constantly live streaming as we are right now. And so there's a level of approachability, accessibility, transparency, vulnerability, even humility in that sense of like being known. And so what would you maybe share with folks that are just investigating this for the first time, what you've learned? I mean, because you came and hung out with the team this morning, rubbing shoulders, sharing laughs, playing baseball or slapping ass. I mean, all sides of things are happening as we're hanging out.
Yeah, this is honestly, I've been blown away by just the first of all, the energy of the team. The fact that everybody's on docs makes everything goes with the transparency thing that we were talking about. But just seeing the vision and the passion, like the passion behind this project is something that I really like, it stood out to me a lot because the passion comes from actually wanting to do good within the community and increasing that community, increasing the good within that community. And one of the things that really stood out to me is that everybody shares the same vision. It's not just one member of the team that shares that vision. It's everybody. Everybody's unified in terms of, what the project means, what it means to the community, and how we can help other people. And like you said, man, there's 2 billion community members that are out there.
Right.
And just by bringing this on chain and having the transparency, it's going to be a great opportunity where we can ultimately spark one brain, one at a time to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So just seeing the team and just seeing the vision, it's definitely remarkable, man. I'm excited to see where this thing goes, truthfully.
As we wrap up, I want to talk a bit about the importance of our physical health and our financial health and how we get there. You being in crypto for this long, it's possible that you've had moments even in the last year or whatever, where you've had extreme wealth and extreme debt, like, because you can get upside down in this industry really fast on accident.
Believe me, I've seen those days.
So also possibly in the last decade, you've been, it's hard to imagine, but maybe you've been an even better physique. You probably haven't been as good as you are today.
Yeah.
So it's easy for someone on the outside to look at you and be like, wow, this guy's really gotten a mastery of his finance and a mastery of his physique.
Yeah.
But, if a human had to think about the basis, right? The first thing for a human physique is that our senses work. Right? Like if we're paralyzed, that radically impacts it.
Yeah.
If we can't see, hear, smell, taste, that's going to radically impact our kind of how we function with the world. So let's say you have all senses are
everything working.
You can walk, you can talk. That's the basis for then, okay, how do I eat right? How do I eat less calories? How do I work out right?
Yeah.
How do I burn enough calories? How do I get to that superhero body?
Yeah.
And then on the financial side, it's like, number one, can I get banking?
Yeah.
Can I get access to a debit card, a credit card? Can I get access to anything to store my money?
Yeah.
Can I get access to a barter system? Is there a way for me to exchange my services for money? Is there a way for me to exchange goods that I have for money?
Yeah.
And then eventually, how do I get financial mastery?
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. If you today have something close to an ideal physique in your mind, maybe you want to be 5% this, 5% that, but you don't have to go through some sort of massive transformation to achieve something one day, like you're in great shape. And let's say something similar with your money right now. Would you trade one for the other? For instance, if I said, hey, I know it's not possible, but I said, hey, I'll give you a Bitcoin, but you're going to gain 20 pounds. Now, you're welcome to burn it back off.
Yeah.
I'll give you a Bitcoin, but you're going to lose 10 pounds of muscle. You're welcome to gain it back. Is that a yes? Is that a no? Is that?
For me, that's a yes, because I've done that before. I know how to gain the muscle back again, and I've if I gain the weight, I know how to shave it back down because I've done it so many times. And like you were saying before, I've been through these ups and downs financially, mentally, and physically. I've been at my worst and I've been at my best. And you got to kind of find your way in between. And once you find that in between and lock in, it just becomes a lifestyle. You know what your finances are. You know exactly what your bills are coming out every week. You know how much money you got to save. You know how many calories you got to eat without going overboard. And if you do go overboard or spend a crazy amount on a trip or something, you know how to rewire it and get back. It's okay to have some balance in life. As long as you know that middle ground, that your stability, which sometimes also comes with years of experience, but there is ways to do it where you create an action plan, you create a system of habits, and you execute that. It's just going to become a lifestyle for you. But to answer your question, every day, man, I would take it because I know how to either gain the muscle back or shave the weight off. But that's an excellent question.
What's harder to fix between finance and physique? Fix being I'm broke, I need money, I'm heavy, I need to get lean, or maintain. I'm wealthy, I want to keep it. I'm fit, I want to keep it. In your mind, is there a path of achievement with physique, a path of achievement with finance, that one is more challenging to get mastery over, and is one more challenging to maintain that mastery that you have achieved?
Man, you're hitting me with all the excellent questions. I'm not gonna lie. To be honest with you, money and fitness and go hand in hand. It's literally neck and neck with one another. I think in order to once you maintain or get that pinnacle physique that you're looking for, it's very, very, very easy to maintain that. Same thing with finance. I think with finance, once you get to a certain level of money, it's just so easy to just keep making. You're just going to continue to win and win and win. Once you're in a winning state, it's just so much easier to keep winning. You're in a perpetual state of winning. You have $5 million, $2 million, just by putting your money in the bank, just basic savings account. You're going to gain interest off of that. $5 million at 4%, do the math. You're just going to keep making money. Same thing with a physical physique, but a strong body equals a strong mind. It ultimately comes down to your mindset. Getting to both physique levels and financial levels requires the right mindset. The action plan to get healthy, the action plan to really understand your finances. Okay, how much money am I spending monthly? Do you know your break even? I have income that's coming in and an income that is coming out. Do you know that number? Do you know how many subscriptions you're subscribed to? Really dive into your finances and hone in on, all right, how do I grow my finances? All right, what portion of my income is going to savings, 401k, and investments? A lot of people just go with the flow and they're terrified of looking at their bank account because the thought of them looking at their transactions is they have to face the reality of their finances. But the ones that are actually doing a great job and understand, all right, this is my 401k, this is my investment plan, this is where I need to be in 5 years. You got to have a goal. You got to work for something. And I think in order to get both, we're talking about fitness and financial freedom here, you need to know your purpose. You need to know your why. Without knowing your purpose or your why, it's just you're just going through the motions. Purpose is everything. You need to know what really drives you to get you to that next level.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on your end before we wrap up? And definitely share with folks how they can find you, connect with you online, and all that.
Absolutely. My final thoughts is definitely you guys get a chance, check out CIK. What they're doing right now is they're pioneering the game in terms of transparency, trust within their community, the faith-based community, and just honestly for everybody. What they're doing right now, we were talking before about things that we see in the future. This is something that's going to be big, and I think they're going to spark a lot of other communities to do the same thing by doing the right thing. If you want to check me out, you can check me out on X. I'm at Cryptoology Keto. On TikTok, I'm Keto's Corner. Same thing on Instagram as well. Keto ketos.corner. But it's been a pleasure, man, speaking with you. Absolutely banger questions, by the way, man. And yeah, excited to see what you guys do in the near future as well.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to sit down with more of our mutual friends. I think we'll have Drew sit down with us in just a moment. We'll be back again in just a moment, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Man, great questions. Awesome. You fucking killed it, man. Oh, good. I tried not to curse, too. I didn't get any curses.
I cursed first, well, I said ass.
Okay.
All right, you ready to jump in?
Yes.
All right. I'm ready for you, my friend. All right. You come take a seat right here. Drew, D-R-E-W, yes? All right, you're right here, my friend.
Yeah, 1 minute.
About 20. Yeah, 20. Yeah, 40 on that? Do the whole thing.
You got an hour?
Yo, can you hit the DGI too? It'll be like 30 minutes. Turn that off and then turn it on, son.
What? 15 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Give me the 5, 4, 3.
Wait. Where did the link go? Where did the link go?
Click it. Welcome to the OnChain Summit in San Francisco. Drew, good to meet you.
What's up, brother? How are you?
Good, good. I got to sit down with a mutual friend, but you guys have been doing life together for a long time, Keto. And so what's it like for you guys to be able to travel together, come participate at events like what's happening here with the Coinbase event, work with amazing tokenized communities like Christ is King? Like, give me a little idea about you guys, because we just had him on a moment ago.
Yeah, Keto is a very, very close friend of mine. Honestly, you can consider him a brother, and we do get that a lot.
Yeah,
Everyone
you
always asks us,
similar.
are you guys brothers? But yeah, a little backstory between us. We're actually high school friends. We grew up close together. We played sports together. So now seeing it come full circle, like traveling together, it's pretty cool to be able to do, you know, these events. Like recently we were at Dubai, Token 2049. We met some epic people here. And then we got connected with another epic project like you guys. And we had the opportunity to come out this way. And, you know, it's just been an experience. And, you know, like growing as kids and going through life things as kids to now transitioning to adults and journeying and traveling life together. It's been pretty awesome.
And you grew up in the East Coast, Long Beach area, is that, or
Long Island area? Yeah, in the East Coast. Yep. So originally we're from New York, still over there, Long Island more specifically. This is actually my second time on the West Coast.
Welcome.
Yeah, and the first in San Francisco. And I overheard you saying, now you got what, 10 generations?
Yeah. My ancestor founded the city of San Jose, and our family's lived here in San Francisco Bay for 250 years.
Yeah, this is a beautiful area. I definitely want to take some time, some point throughout this trip, to go just explore and dive deeper into this amazing culture out here and beautiful area.
Tell me a bit about what you do online. Why do you think people care about what you have to say? How have you earned people's trust over time? How do you maintain that trust and continue to provide the folks that pay attention to you something that's of value that they keep tuning in?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my Twitter handle or X handle is Healthy Assets. And I mean, health is one of the most important things, you know, that I believe in, that as a man or even a female, a woman, you know, you really got to put your health as a top priority. And then obviously assets is, you know, could be anything. real estate, investments, relationships, communities. So, I really try to live like a healthy lifestyle and have health and positivity in all those aspects. And then, now with my, followers and audiences, I really just try to put out like open, honest, and authentic information.
Yeah.
And genuine stuff, like, like real coming from the heart stuff. So.
Yeah. When you think about, okay, there's such things like trust fund babies, right?
Yeah.
So these are guys and gals, their parents, their grandparents, maybe their great-great-grandparents put together a trust, and maybe they never have to worry about money. But there's no such thing as a trust fund physique. Like, you got some of the nicest lats I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how many pull-ups and pull-downs and pull sideways you've done, but bro, you have earned some serious lats. So that's not something that you get as a gift in an inheritance. So one thing that's very different from healthy assets in terms of being healthy physically and healthy assets in terms of a healthy bank account is a bank account can be given to you. Like, you can be given wealth that you can make good decisions and keep it and grow it, or make bad decisions and lose it. But your body is something that you ultimately, I mean, people can say, oh, genetics this, DNA that. But ultimately, like, if you want to have massive lats and huge muscles, you got to go destroy your body in the gym all the time. You got to eat the right food consistently for a long time. So when you think about trying to guide people with healthy assets in terms of your money, healthy assets in terms of your physical life, how do you compartmentalize those two things?
Well, at the end of the day, you have to really start out somewhere, right? Like, you can have this awesome plan, and if you don't ever take action or a step in that direction, all it's going to be is a dream, right? So getting started, like, if someone comes into the gym for the first time, I'm not going to say, hey, go run 10 miles, or hey, go show me a business plan that's going to earn $10 million. But hey, can you get one lap around the track? Can you get $100 transaction today? So starting small, and then really kind of like, believing in yourself and trusting in yourself, right? Like, you aren't born with a physique, you work for it, and that does require discipline, and it does require, that personal belief in yourself and that you can achieve it, and consistency, like you said. Some people, they are gifted with big bank accounts, and some people actually are gifted with really good physiques, but it's the choices that they make, whether they either destroy that bank account or destroy their body, right? Like, you are what you eat, you are how you sleep, you are how you recover. So it all goes hand in hand. And the reason why, I think I have been successful where I'm at is because I put that trust back in myself and not necessarily like other people. And then now, like, by believing in myself, when I make a choice on an investment or a position, I start small, and then if I really see where it's going and what it's capable of and believe in it, then I'm all in. And from then on out, it's straight up for the most part.
So we got this image of Buddy Base Jesus next to us. Our friends launched this community, Christ is King. So tokenizing the church, having a tokenized community, centralizing the church. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit, but I just want to talk about the controversy of Jesus and some of the ways that he talked about money and our physical bodies. Just to kind of spark off a conversation around some of the unique things that have caused 2+ billion people to be interested in him. So he said, if you don't love me so much that in comparison you hate your family, you're not really worthy of following me. It's kind of a crazy thing to say. He lost a lot of people that day. He went from massive crowd to little crowd. That's one way to get it, to find out who really wants to follow you. Another one that's crazy is the religious leaders of the day, because he basically assaulted every religious institution, every government institution, every business institution by the way that he lived. Religious leaders are like, okay, we know how to bust him. We know what to do. Hey, Jesus, who does your money belong to? Should we give taxes to Rome? Should we give money to the church? And he says, show me a coin. So they pull out a coin. He said, who's on the coin? Well, Nero, Caesar. Well, give to Caesar what's Caesar's and give to God what is God's. So really interesting. He didn't really give an answer if you should be generous and give to the community, or if you should be obedient to the law and give to the government. He just said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. I'll give you one more. He's in the upper room before he's murdered by his own people. Obviously he wasn't murdered for fun. It wasn't like, hey, let's murder Jesus. It's because he was causing a real disruption across every single sector of society, and they really wanted to stop that. And he says, take this cup, which is wine, from what we know. I wasn't there. I have no idea what really happened. That's what I'm told. Take this wine, drink this. You're drinking my blood. Take this bread, eat this. You're eating my body. Now, certain paradigms, like the Catholic Church, like they take that so serious. They are all about drinking the wine and eating the bread, and they're consuming the body of Jesus. And there's other people that like don't really care a lot about that. Same with finance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that they built whole entire belief systems around how they think God or Jesus, the God man, wants them to manage their finances. They're all about prosperity and manifesting wealth and generosity and donations and philanthropy. And like that, their whole world is wrapped up in that. So people take different things from what he said. But one thing you can't ignore is the things that we believe he said that were written down or that we've seen in movies or TV shows or heard in a sermon or whatnot. These things are very controversial. So you and I are just a couple dudes out of 8 billion in the world today. We have platform. People might listen to us or be interested in what we have to say. How do you kind of toe that line of controversy? When do you go full force into saying something controversial? And when do you kind of hold back, and why?
This era of time, it's tricky, right? Like you really have to be mindful of your words because we could have a 30-minute conversation and there might be a 5-second snippet that gets blown up and sent out, and your career is either up and you're golden or you're down and it's retirement and you're trying to figure out the next plan. So, you really do have to be mindful of what you're saying. And, if it aligns with your beliefs and what you've been preaching the whole time or talking about the whole time and doing, it shouldn't be taken as malicious or mean, because you've been on that same beat the entire time. But if you're just coming out of left field with something kind of outlandish, then yeah, I can see how the controversy would get blown up. But it's also, if you do get put in that situation of being in a controversial moment, it's also how you handle it. Like you need to be able to face it and say, hey, you know what? I did say that and what I really meant to say. And sometimes clear communication can clear up a lot of it. And for the people that, run away from a little situation or can't come to that adversity or stand up, then maybe they weren't really truthful to that comment that they made from the beginning. So it's tricky in this era, in this time period where everything's being recorded and we are just two guys having a conversation, like what we're talking about and what people are seeing, they could be viewing it from a different perspective, especially if they're only catching that 5-second snippet and not the full 30 seconds where you see that whole picture.
When you think about the ability to tokenize a community that's been in existence for thousands of years, right? So if you look at the community around Jesus, obviously Catholics, Christians, mystics, of course, a lot of Jews, right? Like they may not buy into the full thing, and maybe they even hate Jesus, but everything that he came to talk about, represent, they buy into that. And even Islamic folks, right? The Muslim friends of ours, they definitely lean on a lot of the same folks that Jesus learned from, right? They look at similar things around Abraham, right? Father Abraham had many sons, right? And all the Muslims through Ishmael and all the Jews through Isaac. They look at Moses, the story of Egypt, escaping slavery. They look at some of these things and they still find a lot of direction and guidance in that. So there's like a lot of the world that look at this and have for many generations. And now for the first time ever, we have an ability to tokenize this community and help organize it in that fashion and maybe even give it some sustainability, at least for those that participate. What is your thought on the meta of having a religious tokenized community?
Well, this is what you would consider like a first mover or first of its kind. So like in this narrative and exploring it, it's very sensitive on certain and so many levels. But you said what you said in the beginning about community, right? Like having belief in something or a community, like with the right momentum and movement behind it, which is what you guys have been preaching from the beginning, like there's a big benefit from the tokenization part of it, especially for people who are contributing to the church and like really want to really go all in on this, and this can go for any sort of tokenization with like communities with what they truly believe in, you know, and it could be with religious, or it could be in the AI meta, or, you know, previous narratives. So there's a lot of good that comes with this. I feel like, especially in the community aspect, you can really build and really kind of strengthen that community bond even more.
Right. And what is the role of different people that are part of a community? Like, okay, here's another one. Like in this faith paradigm, it's been said that the community is like a body, and everybody has their role, right? Some are the eyes to see, some are the mouth to speak, some are the heart to feel, some are the hands to work, some are the feet to run. How do you see communities being diverse and vibrant, where everybody can kind of find their role, find their place, be needed, lean upon others that have gifts they don't have? And how do you find that? How have you found that in tokenized crypto-based communities in the past?
Well, it gives you a little bit of like accountability, like an ability to own some, possess it, to really be like, feel like you're a part of it, right? There's so many more benefits than just like the actual token itself, right? Like it's something tangible, you could see it. It's something that you could be a part of. And then, you know, with that whole like explanation, you know, having someone with the vision, being able to see 5 steps ahead, having your team members to be able to put that vision on paper, and then having other people, a part of the team, help like break that down for people who might just be welcoming into the space or just getting into it now, like help them fully understand where it could be going or the direction stuff.
Right. If people want to connect with you, you know, and they want to learn more about what you do around healthy assets, is that the handle everywhere? And where are you most active at? Where might people kind of get to know you better?
Yeah, so I'm most active on Twitter as Healthy Assets, as healthy_assets_. I do have a TikTok, same name, but I'm way more active on Twitter.
And how have you found the crypto Twitter community to be? And how has that changed over time? Because there's been times where it's all about this one currency. It's the ICO boom in 2017, 18. No, it's all about NFTs in 2021. Oh, no, it's all about meme coins in 24, 25. So how do you find that crypto Twitter community to be, and where is it at today? I mean, what's your vibe today?
It's funny. Things? I feel like when the numbers are up, everyone's active and that everyone's cheering. And when the numbers pull back slightly, it's like, oh, the world's over. It's done. We're not. It's off or done. We're going to zero. So you can kind of go with the swing. If everyone's active and the engagement's up on Twitter and they're all talking and having a good time, you could tell that numbers are probably up. Right. And if it's down and everyone's kind of in a negative headspace and spewing it, you know, you can see that the numbers are down.
Right.
But overall, you know, it's just about really being able to like stay consistent, whether it is up or down. You know, I've seen you guys been, you know, promoting and talking about it the whole time, and I don't know. I think you guys are really onto something special.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy to be part of this community. I love the founders. I think they have the right approach in so many facets. Yeah. You guys spent time with the founding team this morning. Any insights that you gained just from being, you know, kind of IRL with the team?
Yes. So one of the things that stood out to me was just like the good energy, the good vibes, the open transparency. You know, like I'm a big handshaker and I give hugs too, and you know, right away hug, handshake. So like that's kind of welcoming, and it's a good way to build trust with your people. And you know, it's very easy to just talk to people online and never show face to them and really get to understand them or any of their vibe or energy. And you know, getting to have breakfast with you guys, coffee, and laughs, right? Like that's a huge part of it. You know, like
huge.
Seeing people for more than just the profile picture or the Telegram handle or the Instagram handle. It's a lot deeper than that. So, you know, after talking to everybody on the team, I'm like, okay, these guys are on something, and they have a vision and they have the passion behind it. And, you know, there was no question left unanswered. There was always a response, plus more. Do you need to know this? So like the attention to details there. And, you know, even like the imaging itself, like it's warm, it's comfortable. Like there's nothing like
approachable.
It's super approachable, super easy to understand and like to get behind in a sense, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you and Keto are here.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys could jump in, get to know us, get to understand what the team is trying to accomplish and how you can be a part of that body, right? You know, where everybody has a place. You know, we're still here at OnChain Summit for the next few days. Today is kind of the end of the big hackathon. They got a big poker tournament tonight. Tomorrow is the big show. They got the main stage, 3 stories of glory, up and down and all around. And then, of course, Sunday, the big film festival. Anything you're looking forward to at this event before you wrap up? I mean, if folks are watching, maybe they're in San Francisco or the Bay Area, and they think, well, maybe I should go out and check out the OnChain Summit.
Honestly, first of all, you guys absolutely should, because if you don't, you're just missing out on a chance to connect and meet some epic people. And honestly, my mindset coming out on this trip was really just to connect, to experience, and kind of leave an impact myself. That's kind of like 3 big words that I go by and I live by, and like that's what I think about every day. How can I experience this? How am I going to make an impact, and how can I make connections? And for the remainder of this trip, it's going to kind of just be like shaking hands, really getting to know people on more of a deeper level, and just enjoying my time here.
Well, I've enjoyed my time with you.
Yo, likewise. We should do this again very soon, brother.
I look forward to it, Drew.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be back again in just a moment.
Have a good one, guys.
Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what my soul was telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
We pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ. Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what my soul was telling me, and this is what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
We pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ. Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what I like. My soul was telling me, and this is like what I was born.
Hey everybody, it is West with Kick, and we are live from the OnChain Summit. This is pre, okay? We're going into the OnChain Summit. It officially launches tomorrow. Today is the final day for the hackathon, and I'm with Quigley. He is doxing himself right now and coming on live in real life. I love it. Quigs, would you just introduce yourself to the people? He's a man that normally doesn't need introduction, but we're not just streaming on X. We're also on Facebook, right, Instagram, and a couple other places. So introduce yourself.
Yep. Quigley, I go by Quigley NFT on Twitter. I've been in the space for quite some time. I've actually been doxed, just haven't done a whole lot of streaming. Yep. But you know, I've essentially came through on the NFT side last cycle and did the whole launchpad thing and helped a lot of founders find their way in the crazy NFT days. Had a lot of fun. I think like a lot of folks, things didn't quite turn out in the end like we hoped they would, but you know, made a lot of friends along the way. And so you know, this last 18 months or so I've been on base. I've just been diving into the ecosystem, you know, networking, helping builders. We've got the Base Cartel. Come on. Which you should. This is kind of like alpha on a live stream, but you know, we're actually rebranding the Base Cartel. Dang. Yeah. So we are now the Base Collective. Okay. So a little more palatable, I think, for folks as we're kind of expanding the brand. We felt like it was time to kind of step up on the professionalism level a bit. And but yeah,
Washington Redskins. I'm an NFL guy. My dad played for the Broncos, so Redskins no longer. They are the Commanders. So sometimes it's good to be able to move into a new space. I like the collective. That's alpha here. That is some big news that you heard from Quigley. But one thing that I love to ask, because you've been in this space for a long time now, is you've got something on your shirt that says connect to Web3.
Yeah.
How would you explain Web 1, the difference between Web 1 to Web 2, and then the difference between Web 2 to Web 3? How does that iteration and maturation cycle for webs work, and in your words?
Yeah, so the way I've always kind of framed it for me, when you look at you know, sort of the internet that we all kind of grew up with, at least most people, and still to an extent like Web 2, you know, these brands, these companies, they're a bit extractive. Their whole monetization structure is all about them making money, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to Web 3, it puts the power back in the hands of the people. It gives us an opportunity to build infrastructure and platforms that, yes, there are companies, you know, projects, teams that will also make money, but at the same time, they kind of flip that the flow, you know, back to the people. So I think it's a big part of it is just decentralizing and sort of giving us an opportunity to own our own brands, so to speak. So I've always looked at it like that. I've heard some really eloquent like timeline, and here's how it started. You know, then we had the social media sort of Web 2 approach, and now essentially on-chain, giving us the opportunity to like use our wallets for our accounts across all different platforms. More technical differences there, but for me, it's always just been about flipping the power, you know, giving it back to the people, letting us own our own assets, letting us own our own wallets, and not have to rely on banks or corporations to, you know, to rule all the stuff that we do, right? So
yeah, and I think when you started the conversation and introducing yourself, you talked about NFTs, and that was probably why you fell headfirst into that whole environment, because you said something about decentralization. You were talking to me earlier yesterday kind of about this infatuation that you had with like just knowing like this in your knower that like banks are bad. Like, so maybe talk a little bit about the sovereignty that can come through connecting to Web3.
Yeah. So going back now years, you know, I've always had this innate, you know, feeling that our entire sort of system is broken. So again, this is just kind of getting into the weeds a little bit, but my name Quigley that I use and have used now since like 2017 on the internet is based off of an author that wrote a book called Tragedy and Hope. It's from the 60s. It essentially outlines how central banks have used roundtable groups like the Council on Foreign Relations and other entities to like essentially control policy and really control governments, you know, and states to sort of move in a certain direction.
Yeah.
I think everyone, at least to an extent, has probably explored some of those kind of conspiracy theory rabbit holes and seen where some of that stuff goes. But if you actually wanted to read a really boring book about the history of legitimately how it works, he wrote the book on it. So I've always used that as kind of a, you might call it red pill kind of.
And what was
conversation.
What's the name of the book for people that are watching?
Tragedy and Hope.
That's right.
It's about this thick. It's a long, boring read.
Did you actually read the whole entire book?
I'll be honest. I have not read it cover to cover. I
Okay.
have. There's a guy named Jay Dyer who works with like InfoWars.
Yeah.
He's done like a multi-part series over, you know, the history of Carroll Quigley. So I spent a lot more time listening to him talk about it than actually reading the book. I have read a lot. I own it. Read a lot of the book, but it's a boring read. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like it's the guy was a professor at Georgetown.
Okay.
He's a historian. You know, and was actually in favor of this system that he was writing about at the time. So he wasn't trying to out them or like put them on blast. He was actually like, hey, this is great. These guys get together and control the whole world. Essentially, here's how they do it.
Yeah.
And so it gives us a glimpse into you know, how these sort of like entities have managed through centralized banking to control our world government and our world financial system. So,
which you're talking about going down these rabbit holes quickly and where your name came from. Like that's a lot of like, so we got a little bit of alpha. We haven't got to the omega yet, but one thing for Christ is King is we're trying to introduce and bring the church on chain, which a lot of churches and a lot of people in the congregation, faith-based individuals, some of them are still in Web 1, which is crazy. The church itself got forced into Web 2 based on what happened with 2020 and 2019 with COVID. And so that kind of forced them into this Web 2 space. But really Web 3, there's still a lot of people who are like, hey, this space, cryptocurrency and a Web 3 in and of itself is uncharted territory. And it's kind of brings me signs of like the Antichrist or the devil. What would you say to those people like that are on the fence and actually aren't even on the fence? They're on the other side saying that's bad. Don't do that.
I mean, you know, it's a very good, like, I get it because having spent a lot of time in that sort of world, you know, I did a lot of social media posts a few years ago about these types of things. I haven't gone down that specific rabbit hole as it relates to crypto, but it's just in general, I understand the hesitation, and I would say it's similar to how, I mean, some people look at brands in general and they say, well, that brand, if you look at a logo and you twist it around a certain way, now that's, you know, Monster Energy drinks is a great example. I think a lot of people have seen that and they're like, well, that looks like it's trying to promote Satanism. And I really hope that's not the case. But I will say energy drinks are probably not good for you. So, you know, maybe that's okay. But as it relates to crypto, you know, I would say like if you look at it like at this point, our paper dollars have become essentially digital at this point. I mean, everyone has a few bucks here and there. Maybe you got some under your mattress still, but for the most part, I think a majority of Americans keep our money in a bank, and it has become a digital ledger already. So the bank, you look at your bank account, it's digital. You're not really holding the cash. So who's holding that money?
Yeah.
We're
not going to get into whether or not it's even actually backed by gold at this point either. Like,
right. The gold standard, all that stuff is whole nother conversation. But my whole thing was like, look, when I first heard about Bitcoin, it sounded really weird to me. And it was being used for illicit things. And so there's always been that stigma with crypto, but it's now become, if you actually study it and learn about it, it is actually a transparent process whereby everything is on chain. Every transaction, everything you do, you can see it all. So my excitement, one of my excitements about Christ is King, I talked to the team, and we kind of talked about the mission and bringing people closer to God, but also showing people that, hey, there's other ways that we can essentially incentivize people to participate in these things.
Yeah.
One of the things I was excited about was just the simple fact that, what to kind of flip the conversation, what better thing to do than to show a transparent way for the church? Where does that money go when you tithe? Who's spending it on what? And let's be honest, put it out there that criticism exists as a knock on Christianity. Like, well, look at these mega churches and look at the way they're spending money, and they're probably living in big mansions and etc. Well, some of that's true, and some of it needs to probably change. But I think looking at it from a blockchain standpoint, if you put everything on chain, there's no hiding anything. You can just see it all. And I think that's exciting. And then kind of pivoting back to what I was saying about who owns it, would you rather have your church essentially own their own financial system than have a bank own it, right? So let's flip that script too. Let's show people that we can control these things, we can be transparent, we can find ways to bring people on chain. What my favorite thing to say also amongst my friends, because they're like, what are you doing? What's this project? I'm like, there is no bigger cult on planet Earth. Okay. If you talk about bringing a cult on chain, I know the cult term might throw people off, but it's
short for culture.
It's culture, right? And it's a perfect blend, in my opinion, of how do we reach the masses. This is easy for me to explain, like for people like my kids as an example. They love
how old are they?
I've got a 10 and a 15-year-old daughter, and then I also have 3 stepchildren now.
Okay.
Recently married, that are 14, 18, and 23. So
wow,
got a little spread there.
Yeah.
But specifically with my 2 daughters, watching them grow up, they participate in youth camps and in church and youth groups, and this will be easy for me to explain to them, like, how sometimes showing them different memes or explaining tokens to them, it might be over their head, but if it's involving gaming or it's involving Jesus, it's going to be a pretty easy explanation, like for me. So I'm excited for that, showing my family, like, hey, you can do this with me. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so we're actually here at the OnChain Summit a little bit early because we're at the hackathon. We're getting into this crescendo that's going into the OnChain Summit itself, which officially starts tomorrow, and a lot of people will be coming in town for it. And we're here at the Howard right now, right across from the W. It's been beautiful weather here in San Francisco, and our developers have been building something on the Base app called Daily Bread. And so when you talk about your kids being introduced and kind of gamify your giving and ability to actually, on all these different platforms, they're getting like skins or they're getting these coins, but like it doesn't really allow them to do anything but buy something else in the game. What would that look like for your kids in the future if we were able to create something like Daily Bread where they're actually getting money to read the Bible?
Right. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful incentive for anybody to use. It gamifies it. I've talked to the dev that's building it. He showed me sort of like how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And it's a mini app, and one of the goals of the mini apps is to make things frictionless and easy for people to participate with. But I like seeing the message on the card itself that you get, and then of course you have the decision point there of, do I keep these tokens or do I spread them out and share, and bless someone else with them? So I think it's a great tool. I'm sure. I mean, the kids these days love these games, so a simple, easy one like this should be a no-brainer.
I love it. Well, you talked about us. You've obviously have docked yourself in the past, but what else are you excited about personally that you've been building or that you've been working on outside of Kick itself?
Oh man, maybe more alpha here. Mostly everything I'm working on is been under wraps. So I talked about the rebrand.
Huge.
We brought in last year the Base cartel. We wanted to support everyone on Base. We wanted to give even our degenerate friends something to laugh about, something to have fun with. But I also understand that maybe doesn't resonate with everyone, and so we're trying to be a little more inclusive and find a way to like reach out. So part of that process is also going to be working with Creator DAO and the base creators. So we're going to be working pretty closely with them. And so personally, like I've always done Twitter Spaces. We talked about that a little bit. Haven't done a lot of these live streams. So, but with Retake and a few of these other platforms coming onto the base app, a lot of people are wanting us to start doing some of the streaming. So you might see me in my garage here pretty soon.
Come on.
I'll be smoking some meat, you know, cooking some food and on, because I have literally nowhere in my house to even like do a stream from. So
yeah, you just talked about how many kids you have now.
They take all the rooms, and so 5-bedroom house, I got to go to the garage to do anything. So I'll be in the garage, but
in Kansas City, you know, he knows how to smoke some meat. So he's a barbecue connoisseur.
Yeah.
What are you, just to get into that a little bit, what are you grilling on these days?
So I use a Blackstone now for most everything, but I actually got a pretty nifty little portable smoker.
Okay.
It's sort of like an all-in-one deal. It's not the official like legit smoker like you'd probably want from a Kansas City barbecue person, but it works for me, and it also can be used to tailgate.
Okay.
If you want to smoke a brisket, you're going to be at a long tailgate, but you know, you have an option if you want to smoke something on there. But you can also grill burgers and other stuff on it, so it's pretty.
Are
neat.
we gonna see a dynasty with the Chiefs? What are you thinking?
It's already a dynasty.
Come on.
All right, we're already a dynasty. This year will be interesting. I mean, the guys did a little rebound from last year.
Yeah.
Gotta get some of that talent performing at its highest level, and you know, see if the defense can step up a little bit. But yeah, we're
down that line. Is Kelsey gonna put a ring on it?
Yeah, you got to think at this point, like it's already either happened or it's gonna happen soon, right? I mean, he did just pay her quite a bit for that podcast, so I'm like, why don't you put a ring on it? Maybe it wouldn't have cost you so much. but no, hopefully that works out for him. And you know, being a Chiefs fan since the '90s, these last few years have just been wild. You know, beyond my wildest dreams for the football team. I actually grew up an Eagles fan, so last year was a bit tough.
That was really tough.
Yeah.
Talk about cognitive dissonance on a whole other level.
You know, but I always loved Andy Reid too, so all good. Yeah, Chiefs are doing well. Looking forward to a good season, and fantasy football. Actually, I'm missing my fantasy football draft this weekend that I've been in for like 20 years that we've been doing live, you know, in person. So I was like, I got an event.
What to switch speeds a little bit? What other projects are you bullish on? I know. I want you to talk about any other meme coin that you think is gonna get to a position, and do you think that all meme coins are going to be actually available on Coinbase?
Oh, that's a given. They've already they're putting literally everything on base, right? That is happening. So you'll be able to use the Coinbase exchange, use the base app to buy any token you want.
When do you think that's going to happen?
I don't know. I just saw like they're up there like 5% so far already. So it's just going to keep going in tranches. They'll keep adding more and more, which I understand. I mean, you can't just like flip a switch and add them all at once. But yeah, looking forward to that just being another great distribution avenue for all of our tokens. But you know, I've always been a fan of the DEX exchanges anyway. So now that they're putting that into the Coinbase exchange, even better. And so you know, as far as the memes go, you know, being a collective, you know, we've got I think over 70 projects that have come to us. Some of them haven't survived, to be honest. Like the chop from this last winter was a little rough for some of these projects, but overall, I mean, we've got a lot of great projects in our collective that I feel are going to be front runners. You know, I'd be remiss to name them all because I feel like it'd be unfair to like just But I'll say outside of our collective, you know, I love what DRB's doing. I feel like that's a great story. You know, Grok has a token. It's got $1 million in a wallet. Sooner or later, Elon Musk is going to say, hey, what's going on with that wallet? It's $1 million. What can we do with it? And I think it'd be really cool to watch them use Grok to bless people, right? Like people that need debt relief. Maybe they essentially have Grok start picking and choosing people that, you know, might need some help with those tokens. So stuff like that's really cool narratives. I mean, we had a really interesting one recently happen. I created a group chat on the base app, which is still in beta. So not a lot of folks over there just yet, but I was like, hey, let's just start a group chat. and I started adding everybody in. Some people don't even know they're in there yet. Just like, hey, I threw you in there, by the way. Some people were, begging to get in there. Let me in there. Let me see what you guys are doing. I put the bots in there, like bankers in there, and then we put the Flaunchy bot in there. And one of the guys in the chat was like, hey, can I experiment? He launched a token in the chat and split the fees with everybody in the chat. Really cool story, and called it Basis for Everything.
Wow.
So it's an everything token. So super low market cap. Don't buy it. I'm not telling you to buy it. Not financial advice. But if you think narratives are cool, I think it's cool. I obviously hold it because it happened in my group chat. So it's like I'm getting fees from it, and I want to.
And if you're talking about collectives, I mean, that's something that Trump came out and said, like, hey, these are more or less collectibles when it comes down to meme coins. It's not necessarily currency. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, any kind of clarity on how we define or how we look at these assets is it's a game changer for us. And so yeah, I mean, that's all they are. They're just collectibles. We're just having fun. Again, no, they're not financial vehicles, right? So happy to have that clarity, and we continue to see good news. The good news, it feels like every day, the last 6 months, like it feels like things are just progressing at a great speed for us. So
yeah, and one thing I always like to say when I'm at events like this is I pray and I'll ask God, like, put me in contact with one person that's going to move me forward, or why am I here? What is the purpose behind all this? For you, when you're looking at being here at this event as we gear up for the OnChain Summit, and we're already here live in San Fran, what's your one thing that you're looking to take away from this conference, this summit?
Yeah, that's a really good question for me. I build relationships. I think last year, the people that I met and sort of the insight that I got from hearing from Jesse and the base team, it completely changed my approach. It's what led me to creating a collective. It's what led me to, change my direction on a lot of the stuff that I was doing. So I already know, even like you said, Summit hasn't even started yet. It starts technically happy hour tonight. It's kind of the kickoff, right? And then we have our poker tournament, and there's going to be a little party concert afterwards. But it hasn't even started yet, and I've already had conversations with people, builders, people that have been in the ecosystem that have changed the way I'm thinking about things. And that's what I asked for. Like, for me, I want to come here, look people in the eye, shake hands, and get insight and say, hey, actually, I need to think about how I can approach that differently. So I know I already know it's happening. It's already happening. I've already had to kind of rethink a few things that I was already planning. Like, okay, we're going to change that. So that's what I'm excited about. Just embracing the change in the next year. So
I love that. And you're talking a little bit about being on the inside of the base app. For those people that are out there that are the church that are looking to possibly become, get on chain, and they're following this movement, and what is this really about? Obviously, I always say it's not grifting. We're not here to grift. We're here to gift. And so we want to be able to be a gift to this community that's out and about. What would you say the base community, like this relationship with Christ is King and base, it's early, and we're kind of in the honeymoon phases. By no means are we connected, other than us wanting to sponsor because we believe in base. What would you say about what's possible for Christ is King and base as we move forward into the base app and all the things that they have coming down the pipeline?
Well, I think the mini app is one of the biggest things. Like, having those mini apps, knowing how much base is supporting those builds. I mean, with the hackathon as an example, the base app is essentially like a combination of Farcaster and your wallet.
Come on.
And so you look at it like, okay, how can we get Christ is King on the front page and featured, and have people find a good message on a daily basis? This is it. I mean, it just makes sense. It fits the goal and the culture of what's being built by the base app. And if their goal is to bring 1 billion people on chain, they're going to have a lot of Christians in that billion, right? So we got, I think, 30,000 people using the base app right now. When they open that thing up, it's going to be millions of people right away. and it's going to continue to grow, and we're going to want to embrace that. I mean, we're going to need everyone. So yeah, I think the mini app's probably the vehicle to get the most attention when those floodgates open.
Yep.
And I think the group chats, we got to get a Crisis King group chat on the base app. So when you have people come over and they're like, where do I go? What do I do? You can say, well, first thing is get in the Crisis King group chat.
That's so good.
Say hello. And then we'll connect you in there and we'll support what you're doing, because it is essentially like Zora, where you can coin your content on there.
Wow.
So if that's something that they want to do and they want to, essentially use your community to help support that, that's a great sort of bit of alpha there too. Like, get in a group chat with us, get in a group chat with the Crisis King group. Like, that's where you want to start your journey, and then you'll have automatic support from your community. So
I love that. That's so. I mean, today we got to know Quigley a little bit better. He's already doxed himself, but to be able to come on with us, I appreciate you and giving us not only alpha, but there's some golden nuggets for people to be able to say, okay, if you want to position yourself on the base app, the best thing to do is to create a group chat. And any closing words before we hop off for the rest of the day? What you got?
Oh, just stay tuned. We've got some other stuff cooking. I didn't quite have time to get into it today, but we'll be showing some stuff off the next few weeks from our side. And yeah, just stay based, stay blessed, and I'm glad to be here today with you.
Awesome. And on the count of three, we're gonna say what we're gonna say, which is kick right here. And we're gonna do it on the count of three. You good with me?
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna close it out. 1, 2, 3.
Kick.
Christ is
Christ
king.
is king. See,
There
I thought
it
you
is.
said kick. So
I did.
I was like, all right, we'll say kick. Kick. Christ is king. All
There
right,
it
let's
is.
do it.
All right, guys, you set your mics down, and I'll take one smaller. Real quick. Honey, next is Jim. Thanks for having me. Well, you don't mind if we just have a little second. All right, gentlemen. Give me my phone. I want you to hear. That's what Jim said last time.
That food is so good.
You want me to charge your phone while you're sitting down? All right. Honey, you let me know if you're ready. Are you ready?
Ah, excuse me.
All right.
All right.
Well, you guys are good. I'll give you the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Action. We like action in.
Close to the chin. And we're all ready to go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
We're back. We're here. I'm Malachi. This is Jim.
We're here.
Yep.
So Malachi, this is exciting. We are at an amazing event here
Yes,
at the
I've
Base
learned
Chain
so
Summit.
much, and it's been such an enjoyable experience.
So let's talk about that. Like, you're a young person. How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16 years old. Wow, that's amazing. So do you have your driver's license yet?
I do.
Okay, that's cool. All right. So you got your driver's license and now you're at a crypto conference. Maybe one of the most important crypto conferences ever made so far. How do you feel? What have you learned? What's been your experience here at this co-sponsored Crisis King base event?
Well, I think that it's one of those technologies, one of those ideas that is so revolutionary that it's inevitable. It's just going to happen because of how useful it is. Both Christ is king and an idea like Base. I mean, Apple and Google take 30% of all the money that you make off your apps. That's a lot, 30%. But Base says no, we're just no 0%.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big difference if you ask me. And so that's why it's just such a revolutionary idea. And then Christ is king coming in with just this amazing idea. And you guys are just such amazing humans.
Wow.
You could have an amazing idea, but if you just have a few people who don't care that much about it, then it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
Nothing good is going to come of it. But when you have something like the image of Jesus Christ, who lived 2,000 years ago and somehow is the most known human to ever exist, and then you take this and you make it into some technology that is super applicable, but in so many ways. But one of those major ways is that you can give money in a way that completely removes a third party.
Yeah.
That's just one of the ways too. I feel like I've learned a lot about the way that all these things work, but also just by the people who are here, just from the people on this team, getting to spend time with you guys. I mean, the way that Brandon, the way that he just acts is so gravitating. I just want to spend more time around him and just be around him. And like, those are the kind of people that just make things happen. This is a community. That's what Christ is King really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel pretty certain that crypto and those things are just going to exist later.
Without a doubt.
Because it's an online currency. Why would you not have an online currency in an online world?
Right.
And so you have your digital currencies now. You have your big ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum or USDC. And those are all probably going to exist for basically forever, unless people just decide they don't have value. But people who have a wallet and have their money in it, say you have some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, some USDC, maybe you have some Pepe because you think it's funny. But if you're a Christian, you're probably going to want to have something that identifies you as a Christian.
Absolutely.
And so this is what that is.
Let me jump in there for a second, because you just nailed like 12 different topics in an amazing way. And I want to kind of drill down a little bit on that. First of all, being 16 in your age genre, is it common for teenagers do they know about crypto? Are they familiar with it? Do they already have a wallet? Like where is the evolution of crypto in your space?
Most of my friends definitely know what crypto is. Crypto is online money, but they probably don't know anything besides that.
Okay.
They probably know that it can go from $1 to $20,000 and back down to 0.1 cent. Because that's just the way that value works when you have it shown right to you.
Yeah.
If we had a ticker that showed how much bread a US dollar was worth, and it was like the way that crypto and the stock market are, then people would also get anxious about it.
Yeah.
But it's just that it's not really something that works that way because it's a paper currency. Yet we have these online currencies that give us all the added benefits of having something online. I think that most kids my age probably have a wallet. Most people that I know, but not everyone. It's definitely going to change just because it's like having a phone.
Right. So we're in the very beginning stages of what crypto is all about. It's online digital currency. It's a new way to pay for things without fiat currency or paper currency.
Yeah,
right?
It's huge.
And so you mentioned something that's interesting on the Base app, this new app that is being released even as we speak, that they created an app that can nest mini apps on the inside of it. And so you can take any app, put it on the inside of the Base app, and they don't take fees. Like, this is a huge, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Right now you go to Apple, okay, and you release, and I've done this, you release an app through Apple, they are taking a significant amount of your money just to be on their network. Why? Because it's a monopoly. Where else are you going to go? On Google, Android, or you're going to go Apple, and there's no other way to get your information out there or your app out there. But now there's a way to nest this inside the Base community and there's no fees in order to do that. I think that's absolutely incredible. And you mentioned that.
Where do you
earlier.
see the future of that going?
The future, I think it is the future. I think we are literally back in the .com era of the 90s, and where you had yahoo.com search engine, right? Everybody knew yahoo.com, but then all of a sudden Google came along and did it better and just put them out of business. And I think Base right now, nobody knows who they are. Just like nobody knew who Google was. Nobody knew who Facebook was or Google was. But then they became an international phenomenon because they took what MySpace had created and they just did it better, faster, cheaper, more social oriented. And I think that's exactly what we're on the precipice of, is the potential of having a new Google, a new Facebook that is going to take the place of the way commerce and apps did in the what we will call later will be the old days. We'll talk about Apple, and Android. And I think this is going to be the potentially new way that apps can get launched in a way that benefits everyone at the maximum potential.
Make the comparison to the way that Apple has their monopoly now and how Yahoo did have a monopoly before.
Yeah, it's real simple. Like I said, is that when you have originally Yahoo as a search engine, everybody's using it, and then Google comes along and has a better algorithm, and they just figured out how to do it cheaper, better, and more robust, and get better answers, and then in the algorithm dissect that and present to you what you're looking for. People are looking to get their names known, their companies known, their ideas known, and then what's happening is there's no other way to do it outside of the cost that it's going to cost you to do it through the Android or the Apple network. But if there is a new way to do this, because there's a new currency in town, and when you have a new currency in town, there's a new sheriff in town. And Base is literally saying, we are the sheriff in town, and if you come to us, we're going to let you do it for free. And that alone is going to attract millions and millions, if not hundreds.
It simply
of
will.
millions. Yeah, I don't think there's any way around it. It's going to do that. And I think where Christ as King comes in is helping the Christian believing community in Jesus Christ. I like to call him by his Hebrew name, Yeshua, but taking believers in Jesus Christ around the world and rallying around a new currency that supports what we believe with messaging that we believe, so that people can come into an ecosystem that they're familiar with, a faith ecosystem that feels comfortable to them, that has the messaging that they are looking for in this new digital world.
I think that's why Christ is King is going to be so important, because you have these technologies that are going to happen. It's just going to happen because the difference between 30% and 0% is huge. It's huge. So this is so obvious that it's going to happen. We know that. Now, the question is, how do I get into it? What can I do about that? And if you're a Christian, now you have a really nice and beautiful looking excuse to get into it.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, for a long time, I feel like Christians have kind of avoided new technologies and new things happening. But why? There's no point. So now it's the time for us to decide, okay, we think that we're Jesus followers and that's what we want to live our life as. And this is something that can almost tie my Jesus following ideas, and I can bring that into a community that has called themselves Christ is King, CIK, and they have fully integrated themselves into these amazing new technologies that are coming to exist.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's going to be so important.
Yeah. I love it. I love to think of it this way, is the Bible says, talking about Israel, that they are the head, not the tail. And I don't want to be the tail. And right now, the Christian community worldwide is following the secular community as they're the head in technology. They're the head in currency.
You're right.
They're the leaders of innovation. We are always decades behind. We are just now finally getting to a place in the movie entertainment world through like the House of David or The Chosen, where we're finally getting high quality, Hollywood quality entertainment that supports our values, right? So we've always kind of been the tail. Right now, Christ is King is positioned to be the head of all technology. We are literally riding on the tails of the Base Chain network in technology in the crypto space. We're the head in the Christian department. So as far as people wanting to get into the future in the digital currency space, which is going to we could solve hunger problems, homelessness. Like there's so many things that we're working on behind the scenes here at Kick that people don't even know about yet on the utility side.
You will eventually.
That we will be the head of these things.
Yeah.
We won't have to depend on the secular government, the secular currencies as time goes on. And if you're a believer out there that knows anything about the back of the book and the revelation part, we know that the whole beastly system is going to be digital, and people are going to be told they're not going to be able to buy or sell. How can you do that with a fiat currency? But you can shut off digital currency. And that's why getting inside of this now and creating a separate ecosystem that's completely detached from mainstream digital currencies, it is a protection system. It's like an incubator that protects us. If anything ever goes down, there's an ecosystem built for us to be able to buy and sell within our own community of hundreds of millions of people around the world.
I really like the comparison that you made between the House of David and the way that that was the technology that just came. And what I mean by that is people have always made film for a long time. Not always. I mean, in the past around 100 years, we've been making things because now we have the ability to film. And it's slowly gotten better and better and better. But for some reason, the Jesus following community didn't really get into that. And we kind of just made things that were mediocre. But then finally, we are catching up about 10 years later to the amazingness that now exists. And of course, it's awesome now. The Chosen is so amazing, and it's so enjoyable to watch. The House of David is just a great show. And the thing is, that's great. It's here now. But it didn't need to take us 10 years.
Yeah.
We could have made The Chosen. We could have made House of David 10 years ago, but we simply didn't.
Yeah.
Now we have the chance to see something like Christ is King that is The Chosen and the House of David, but instead of being for streaming and for filming, it's for technology and finance. And now we get the chance to take this by the reins first and actually be the first ones to even have it before anyone else. And since there's 2.6 billion, that's a really big number of Jesus following, believing people, this is going to be the kind of thing that is so obvious when you see why it works that it's just going to skyrocket. And I am excited that it has such a beautiful application.
Absolutely. So Malachi, you're a young person. Explain to the viewers out there that might be in your age group, why should they go to christisking.io right now and find out more information? Why should a young person have a wallet? What's the benefit of, right now we're a meme coin. So people are purchasing our meme coin because they want to get in early and they want to, make some money, but ultimately it's a community of faith believers. Why should your friends and peers be a part of this if they are, if they claim the name of Christ? Why should they be a part of this?
Basically, everyone my age uses something like Apple Pay on your phone. Now, what's Apple Pay? That's not cash. Or what's a card? That's not cash. Those things are digital, but they aren't owned by you. Your Apple Pay is fully owned by Apple or whoever big banking system that they're using behind the scenes. That's not your money at all. You can think it's your money, but it's not. Now, if you look at things like Coinbase or Phantom or MetaMask or any other wallet, that's owned by you.
Mm-hmm.
It might say the same number. It might say a bigger number. It might say a smaller number, but it is owned by you. And that is so important that it's going to happen and it's going to be something of the future.
Mm.
Now you see that this is something of the future. So what are you going to do about it? Okay, maybe I'll go make a Coinbase account and I will put some money in it. I'll buy some Bitcoin or I'll buy the US dollar version that's online.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. But you can also get something like Christ is King. And the purpose of that is because you're getting to say you're a part of this community. If you send money, you can send it in Christ is King and say, hey, I'm sending this to you as a gift. And it's not just a US dollar with a C on it, but instead it gets to be this beautiful image.
Yeah.
And you get to be a part of such an amazing community. That's the real reason why.
There you go.
Because the community part is really what matters. Being here, it showed me that both the application is immense, but more importantly, the community is why it actually matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good your idea is if you don't have someone who can execute.
Yeah.
But when you have people that are divinely prophetic, it is so blatantly obvious that something is meant to happen and that this is a beautiful future to come.
Yeah, I'm excited about Christ is King. And as we kind of finalize out this section, I think it's people might be saying, well, why? First, how do I do it? And why do I do it? Why do I need to buy this? Well, it's real simple. Yeah. Everyone's buying Bitcoin. Everyone's buying Ethereum, all these digital currencies because they want to make money. What this is a ministry. Christ is King is a nonprofit ministry that is a digital version leading the pack globally. We're the largest religious coin in the world. And why should people be a part of it? Simply because if they believe Christ is King, they should put their money where their mouth is. Just put a few coins, a few dollars, a few shekels into your own wallet. It's yours. You're not giving it away, but you're making a statement. This is what I believe. Yeah, you're making a lot of statements when you're buying $100,000 worth of Bitcoin. But what statement are you making when you buy Christ is King? You're making the statement, Christ is King. I own Christ is King. And then what happens with that money is that we're able to utilize percentages of that to help the homeless, to help different ministries that are out there that are underfunded. So we can become, in a way, a financial banking system that bypasses all the fees, bypasses all of the hoops, and allows people to donate directly to the person in Africa. No more, like for instance, even with the Red Cross, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this online, but like over 90% of the money that is given goes to administration costs. So less than 10% of every dollar that's given actually goes to the people that need it. It shouldn't be like that. And so I'm excited to be behind this, to see where this goes. That not only is Christ is King the largest religious coin in the world for fun, but the banner is that he's actually king, and people need to know him, because at some day the king is coming back, and we need to be ready. And this is a great way to prepare ourselves and come together in community, because there's kind of herd immunity when we all kind of come together. Would you agree?
That's amazing.
What's your final thoughts before we come off the air?
I want to ask you to explain really quickly and beautifully concise why it is that Christ is King and the way that they're going to help homeless people, or the way they're going to help that person in Africa, is vitally different than giving your money to something like Red Cross.
Yeah, it's real simple. Is that we want to partner together with other organizations that already have boots on the ground. They're already doing great things. The difference is the money is getting, when people donate, the money is getting funneled through credit card companies, through processing companies, through companies like Stripe and other third-party companies that are taking percentages of that money for their own administration costs. It's their fee. And the crazy part is all it is doing, it's a computer program that they're processing the money through.
Yeah.
We can do the same thing. Ultimately, our end game is do the same thing for free. And then eventually pay people, actually give them a return for coming through our direction. So imagine companies that are spending, that are bringing in $1 million a year. Okay, we're talking about the ability to save $25,000 to $50,000 a year in processing fees, saving processing fees just by going digital into the web M3, the Web3 ecospace, where there's everything is totally transparent. So everybody knows where every single transaction is going. There's no way to hide it, no way to cook the books, and there's no fees. And so I really believe, can you imagine if every ministry in the world was on this platform, how many hundreds of millions of dollars more could go into feeding the poor? How many more full-time pastors could we hire, because we would have that much more money in a local church alone, that all their money is being processed through a third party that's charging 2.5% to 4.5%. So we really think that we're onto something here. And this is the way that commerce should be. It should be transparent, it should be cheap, and it should be beneficial to get, it should be an efficient way to get from the giver to the receiver. And I think that's what Christ is King is going to lead the pack in.
Wow. And unity is really what this needs to transform. It's amazing because all these things are such a beautiful vision, and it is so exciting to get to know that this is about to happen. And what really matters to make it so that that vision of being able to be financially secure, being able to give in such an abundant way, all this needs is for this community to rally around.
That's
and so
right.
that's what our end time vision is for you today. So
That's
thank you
right.
for your attention.
As we end this, we're just going to make one declaration, which is the title of this company is Christ is King.
Thank you for your attention, everybody.
Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what I like. My soul is telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really like comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, Glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
Like, we pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really like came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ.
Welcome back, everybody. I just want to welcome my dad back. Now we can have the two interviewers here having a little conversation.
Okay, this might be the final conversation of the day. We have our team out and about on the streets, blessing all of the party people.
It's pretty cool that they do that kind of thing.
It is. Yeah, this is quite an extraordinary team. It's a bunch of world-class people that all have come together for one big vision, you know, and that is ultimately what is happening. So, son, you met a lot of new people here. Tell me about some of the folks that you've met.
Well, it's already in just 3 days been such an extraordinary experience. I mean, on this first day, I met just the amazing people at this team. I knew that Curtis and Brandon and many of the other people, but I only met like maybe like a third of the team. But I knew that they were just extraordinary. Just them. Solely them. And then now I get to meet even more. Like an entire another third. And there's more people still to meet. It's just so impressive, the team that they've made. Like, it really does make me want to just constantly spend time with them, constantly learn from them. I mean, yesterday I got to sit down at night, really. Like, I was going to go to bed, but then kind of in like a God way, Michael, one of the developers right now, he just comes up to me and he's like, hey, I'll come show you what we're working on. And that's exactly what I've been wanting. I wanted to come here and get to talk with someone and just like learn everything I could. And so then all of a sudden he brings me up and I learn just this amazing things. And he is willing to take the time to sit down and teach me. That was so valuable. And then today I had even more amazing conversations. And the way that they are constantly interacting with the Father that created us, that we like to call God. It's amazing. I just feel so lucky to get to spend time around these people.
You sent a text message out to the group last night.
Yes, I did.
With a warm reception. Everybody loved your text. Reiterate what you were thinking when you sent out a group text to everyone of the leaders of this movement and what you were trying to communicate. Because, you know, a lot of things we communicate nowadays are public. and online.
Yeah.
And then, it's not as often that things are communicated privately, especially, high praise. So give me a little bit of insight and your thought around that.
Well, I had just come back into the hotel room from a transformative experience, getting to be with Michael and getting to learn from him. And, leaving that, he was like, wait, no, I feel like I have to show this to you right now. And he has this records document. It's like 230 pages of all the records that he's talked with AI. And that was just for like this 3-day trip. And he's like, okay, look at my phone. It says 9:42. When it goes to 9:43, something deceptive. I don't know why it's going to be deceptive, but something deceptive is going to come up. And I'm just going to keep scrolling. And then he sees it turn and he stops. And it happened to be like a deceptive thing about the code that was talking about something deceptive. It was something related to that. Instead, it was the code had thought that he was making this project for him so that he would take the revenue, basically. But instead, he was like, no. This is Christ is Kings. And I was like, whoa, like that's weird that happens right now. And it's these kinds of things that just keep gravitating me towards these people. So I get home to the hotel and I'm like, okay, I just am in such a like joyful state of life that I get to be with these people. And so I go on my phone and I send a group text and I'm like, you guys are all amazing. And then I point out some of the people that I've gotten to really bond with. I was like, Michael, whoa, you have this gift. It was amazing. And thank you for that experience. Curtis, whoa, like the prophetic divinity that is around you is so, so potent. It's like every moment that is spent around Curtis just proves more and more that there is this beautiful, amazing, kind creator. That it's not some creator who's asking for anything, but they just want you. That's the only thing they're asking for, just you, not anything. That is something that Curtis, his being, proves. And it's such a joyful thing to get to interact with.
Yeah.
Being around Brandon is just so joyful. He's such a joyful spirit. I wish he was here because I want to just look at him and smile. And then we both start cracking up laughing. That's the kind of person he is. And you see, these are the people who work behind this team. It's like just so impressive to be around these kinds of people. I felt like I was so inclined to get to say something about it last night.
So you're my son, so it's a little bit different than just the average young person. But do you think that this is a community that is welcoming to young people? Why do you think that? Is this a community that you would want to introduce to your network of friends? Like,
Yes.
help me understand that.
Well, of course, they are right now making some of the most greatest content I've ever seen in my life. The video that I saw yesterday that Albert made, I've talked about it on this already, was one of the greatest like edits I've ever seen. And they're making content for the younger generation because I'm the type of person who knows more about what these tokens are, what this technology is and what it's used for. And so if anything, my age group is the people who I would go talk to because we're the kinds of people they're one going for, and two, we're the next generation, and three, it's so important for us because this is the kind of thing that is going to be in our life. This type of technology is what I'm going to be in my prime in. This is what I'll be around while that's the stage of my life. And I want to be able to share that with other people because of the immense benefit that I found from it. The immense benefit that I found from being around these kinds of people. From you, Eric, you're so cool. From you, Weston, you're awesome. And from you getting to show me about all this.
How has the experience been different here in San Francisco than with the same team in New York at NFT NYC and in the Philippines at Philippine Blockchain Week?
I think what that immediately makes me think of is the way that they interact with the people around them. The first time I met them was at the Philippines, halfway across the world. We go over there and they are constantly stopping by with people and they just spontaneously pray and just start bawling, crying. It was one of the most miraculous things I've ever seen in my life to watch someone just walk up to somebody with a shirt that says Christ is King, and all of a sudden they start speaking in tongues together and just start crying, and then saying things about each other's life that they couldn't have possibly known. And then all of a sudden, these people are just jumping up with joy, like that happened multiple times. That was just the Philippines.
Yeah.
It was insane to get to be around that. And then we go to New York, and it was so similar. It's just so impressive the way these people interact. Like yesterday, here in San Francisco now, they were so wanting to go out to people and just find people who were in need and be like, hey, can I pray for you and give you a blessing of money?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they wanted to do. They didn't want to come here to onboard people to spend money on their product. They wanted to come here to onboard people to spend their soul on their faith. And this is the way that they're trying to get that audience and help that community have something to rally around.
Right.
I feel so lucky I get to be here.
And when you think about this community, right, we've been around all the hackers, the hackathoners,
they're amazing.
the base
it's really
builders.
Cool to watch it.
That's going on for the last 3 days. What's the vibe that you get from the base community, the Coinbase community? That's the base wallet, base app, base blockchain. How have you been feeling around this community, and how do you feel like the integration has happened with CIK, the tokenized community, and this community of builders?
I think it's unbelievably significant because it's commonly thought that, oh, crypto people or base people or NFT people, they're kind of schemy. You know, the project that Curtis is working on is saying that that's not true, that people are willing to give money instead of just take it. And I have absolutely seen that being here in person. First, it just says it by looking at what's happened, not even when you get down to the human level. Look, this is allowed to be here in something like Base. This is happening right now. That alone says a lot, even if nobody was receptive. Yet everybody is. Almost everybody that I've personally talked to is like, wow, I love what you guys are doing. I love getting to see you, getting to be around you guys. I just had an amazing conversation with the guy. And that's the kind of environment that this is. It's amazing to get to see that this technology is happening so rapidly, and that the Christians finally get to be the people who come to it first.
So you and I host together a daily radio show called Beachside Tech Talk.
It's lovely. I so enjoy it.
And the last couple of days, we were here helping facilitate this in replacement of our traditional daily show.
Yeah.
What have you learned being here the last few days that you might take into our show next week? Like, how is your mentality going to change next week when we do our next episode compared to how it was before we got here?
You always ask the most amazing questions, Dad. It's so impressive. I think coming here, I wanted to make sure that I prepared myself mentally by coming up with the things that I wanted to make my goals. Because I knew that this was going to be one of those experiences that is unbelievably transformative because of these Crisis King people. Coming here, I was thinking, I know I'm probably going to get some kind of opportunity to talk with people or maybe do an interview, and let alone I've gotten into multiple. And so I want to make sure that I push myself to just listen. I don't want to talk even if I have something that I might tell myself is important, because it's more important to listen to somebody and what they have to say, if that's the point. And that's the main thing that I've learned, that isn't just valuable, but it actually turns out so much more important. It's so easy to be like, oh, but I have a really good thought in my head and I want to just say it. But I don't want to cut them off. But blah, 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 blah. And then you just say it. Like, that's so inclining to do, because, oh my gosh, what if I forget? Yeah, yes, you don't want to forget, but you also just cut off that person. And what I've realized by just experiencing conversations where I just force myself to quiet that inner voice inside my head and just listen to what that thought is that they're saying, I've realized that it sparks such a more important conversation. It lets me extract real value from these people and get to actually make a bond with them. And that's probably the main thing that I'm going to take away, that just asking questions to people and just listening and just trying to find what I can learn from a conversation with them tends to be so much more important. I kind of want to ask you that same question, because not directly related to the radio, but because being someone of your age group, you have kind of solidified the kind of human you want to be. Me being 16, I'm constantly learning and changing who I am. But would you say that there's something that you have learned as an individual from being around these people or being at this event?
Well, I don't really feel solidified. I feel very adaptable. What have I learned? This is a great team. So I've learned that, you can bring a bunch of A plus performers. Like, it's like an Olympic team, Crisis King, the folks that they rallied up. It's like at the Olympic basketball team or something of that nature, where it's like all the, really great people that kind of have teams, lean on them, but now they're all together playing together. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it's hard, but in this case, it seems to have worked really well. I see a lot of people that did great things with Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, other Web 2 ventures that have come together, and it's like a bunch of A plus, star players. They're really doing great things. So I definitely believe a little stronger, positive orientation around collaboration because of it. So that's nice. Hey, we're gonna wrap up, here's what I'm gonna have you do. I'm gonna have you sit down right here and look at that camera. And for the last 30 seconds or a minute or so, I just want you to look at the camera, and I want you to encourage young people not to buy CIK. We don't give financial advice, but I want you to encourage them to investigate tokenized communities. You've heard me talk a lot about the benefit of it. Yeah. So I want you to talk a bit about, just for a moment, like, hey, if you're a young person, you should investigate tokenized communities because, and I'd love for you just to share your thoughts before we wrap up our live stream for the day. So this is your new seat, the Rock.
This is my new seat,
of whiteness.
People. Wow, the setting has changed. To go with the prompt, I really want to encourage you guys, though. Being young, I constantly am getting to be around people who encourage me, and it's such a valuable thing. I found that being around these specific people is something that became of such value to me. Tokenized communities, to sum it up, are just a group of people who aren't deciding to just have a web interface that they talk on, but instead they have some kind of incentive in it by having some kind of token that they call their own. And that is what these people have brought to me. They've brought this kindness, this amazingness, and I just love getting to be a part of a community like this. So to sum it up, tokenized communities are kind of just an inevitable future. And if you like being encouraged, if you like living life happily and joyfully, I'd look into the kind of people these are. Maybe just go onto one of their own social pages. Maybe just go onto Weston's page. Maybe just go onto Curtis's page. Maybe Brandon. Just see that these people, what they actually are. And I imagine that you'll be very, very filled with joy and enthusiasm by the way that they make you feel. So thank you for your attention, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what my soul was telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really comes in.
Then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, Glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah.
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like that's a soul thing.
Like we pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really like came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ.
It may not be, I may do one more, but do you want maybe one more? Okay. Hey, Mike, do you want to wrap up and end everything with Malachi right now? Why are you jumping to the other seat? We'll do more of it. Okay, one over.
Wait, Weston, you said there's a kid up there?
Yeah.
How old is he? Really? Oh, sick. I'll have to go find him. I am too.
Okay, so you guys are jumping.
Reason the light's not on.
You jump in and say, hey, we started this, and so we came to end it. And you guys just chit chat about whatever you want, and then talk about here you are. Talk about how pumped you are for what's next.
Wait, Dad, this is off.
Oh, do you want to trade seats so we started where we finished, or does it matter? Okay, stay in this one. All right.
Okay, ready.
Follow your lead.
Are you ready, honey?
You do have a cool last name.
Wait, say again.
You have a cool last name.
Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I've had friends for like 10 years. One day they'll come up to me, they'll be like, what's your real last name? I'm like, oh, you've known me 10 years. Everybody thinks I'm just like abbreviating.
Oh, really? But it's your actual last name?
It's J-A-Y. It's my real last name.
Yeah, it always reminds me of the, I don't know if you watch the show, but Ninjago.
Ninja. Oh, the Legos?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One of the characters, his name was Jay.
Nice.
That was like my childhood show.
Okay, so growing up in the 80s and 90s, everybody used to always say, "Oh, Michael J. Fox, Michael J. Fox."
Oh, really?
All that.
I'm surprised. I guess it's just a.
Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what I like. My soul is telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really like comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
Like, we pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really like came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ. Grateful to be here. I feel such a contentment, and just seeing people interacting with each other, and I feel like I belong. That's what I like. My soul is telling me, and this is like what I was born. And it's a challenge. I haven't figured it out all yet. I make mistakes, and I feel from that place, the Lord really like comes in.
And then we're going to find out if they believe Christ is king.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I think this is brilliant.
Should we do this?
Let's go, glory.
All right, let's go. Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah! Do you believe that Christ is king? Yeah!
And I'm calling out people's destiny. Like, that's a soul thing.
Like, we pray for each other, and I just really felt the presence of the Lord just really like came to our prayer. And even though we didn't know each other, but we are brothers in Christ.
We're back with the two same people who started it. And it's an amazing day getting to live stream to all of you and talk about the amazing things Christ is King is doing. And we were just talking about how here in San Francisco, it's quite widely known around the world that there has been a homelessness problem. And the thing is, that's one of the things that Christ is King is trying to solve. And the way they are planning to do so is quite a sound plan. It makes a lot of sense. Are you excited for that?
I mean, honestly, that's probably one of the reasons that I'm so, emotionally invested in Christ is King. It's not just a meme token with religious meta in order to make money or get rich. They're really inspired to have a real world impact in so many different ways. I mean, with inside of these team meetings, you know, we're very closed off and careful about speaking about future utility, you know, but you know, I can tell you behind the scenes, the majority of the conversations that we have are about how we can have a positive impact on not only Web3, but the world as a whole, you know, and then that's from, you know, charitable ambitions to, you know, onboarding people and teaching them about some of the pitfalls and some of the, you know, nefarious things that go on in Web3 to help them prevent falling victim to some of those traps.
Yeah.
To, you know, investment opportunities and how to do those things in a safe manner. But then, you know, flip the script out to the real world. Like, how can we bring this message of Christ and, you know, and how can we bring that to communities? How can we spread that word? How can we marry, you know, this movement with Web3 and have the largest impact possible on the real world? So yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it is really amazing the plans that have been going on, and not to give it away, but it is going to be something that I think will do transformative things in the world. I'm really excited to get to see what Curtis and Brandon are able to create out of this amazing team and these amazing ideas.
Curtis and Brandon, I mean, half of our job is just wrangling all the great ideas that come out of Curtis and Brandon's
They have
head.
some of the most wild ideas.
They are the perfect yin and yang in a partnership. You know, with Brandon with his, you know, background in tech and Web3 and all his abilities to execute, you know, and then Curtis with his unlimited wealth of ideas as it pertains to, and if I might say, divinely inspired ideas.
Yeah.
You know, and us as the team are to take those ideas and those resources and figure out how to take ideas coupled with a treasury and turn them into a reality.
Well, I'm really excited to see where this goes as a whole, with Christ is King and with you a part of it and with everyone else a part of it. So if you haven't already, maybe go check out who these people really are. Check out why they actually say they're doing this, because I have a feeling you'll be pleasantly surprised and you'll be excited to see where this goes. So thank you for your attention, everybody. And I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day and rest of your life.
Amen to that.